Film fans of YouTube, hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Josh, your movie apprentice, and today I am going to be looking at Greatest Days. This is a musical based off a stage musical of the band, which uses songs from the band Take That. So, of course, you know I had to give this one a little bit of a watch because, as much as I love myself, your heavy metal, your synthwave, and a lot of anime music, but I do really enjoy Take That's music. So, of course, I was going to check this one out. But is this film more than just the Take That songs? Is this more than just a casual little bit of karaoke in the cinema? Well, let's find out, shall we? So, the musical follows Rachel, who wins a competition to see the boys reunite for a gig in Athens, and she decides to offer the extra tickets to bring her old friends that she has not seen in over 25 years back together. And they, of course, reunite to go to this reunion gig. But of course, there are some shenanigans that do ensue. Now, to start off with, I will say that when it came to the music, the actual songs, for the most part, it was a mixed bag for me, especially in the first half of it. Usually with musicals, the songs really contribute to a scene. They add the emotion to characters when it comes to musicals. But obviously, with this being a film, a musical that uses pre existing songs that weren't created specifically for these scenes, there is a hard time to get these songs to make sense in the plot. And for the most part, they do seem to be quite random, especially during the first half of the movie. And the performances of them are more of a bad karaoke version, in my personal opinion. They fail to capture the magic of some of the Take That songs. For example, Greatest Days, for me, is one of my favourite pop songs of all time. And the way it's used in this is rather bland, in my opinion, especially when it comes to some of the songs being very stop start. Some songs are never really fully featured. It's very much something is said, then they'll cut to a bit of dialogue, then they'll cut back to the song, and it's a bit jarring and a bit hard to focus and a bit disjointed at times. That's not to say for all the songs, though. There are a couple of uses of the songs that really hit impactfully, and I dare say got me a little bit emotional. The Rule the World song from Stardust, which is a film that I do need to check out again very soon. The use of that in this is really well done, and Want You Back is also probably the best use of the songs in this, just for the context of a scene it features in. As we delve into the plot element of it, of these friends, where they have been over the last 25 years and why they haven't seen each other, it takes a long time to really get the answer to that. And while we can pretty much guess, it takes at least two-thirds of the movie before we really get that official confirmation. As a result, a lot of character arcs in this do feel quite rushed. While they are satisfying conclusions to their arcs, there isn't a whole lot to them in terms of the length of the movie. The only one that gets a full start to finish character arc is our main character, Rachel. I love her dynamic with her husband in this and how he constantly is proposing to her, but she always says no for one reason or another. And it makes sense when you realize why she's been saying no this whole time. I think the film for me works strongest when it's the flashback sequences. Now, when it cuts from the present day to these flashbacks of the girls when they were young and having fun in school together, I felt that's where the film shines the strongest, because the dynamic between these girls when they're younger is just very real. It feels very real and very natural to the British school life. Like, I have wasn't part of the all girls group in school, but I was aware of the all girls school group and how they acted around each other. You always see it from a distance, and yeah, it is right on the money. It is extremely accurate, and some of the conversations between them are really good. And I especially like the dynamic between Rachel and the character of Debbie. They have a great little chemistry. And I think my favorite of the group had to be Heather as well. Like, just her smart mouth, her short attitude when it came to have a bit of back and forth, especially when it came to back and forth in with the character of Zoe. I thought that was really good. I love Claire's arc of trying to be a diver, just all these hopes and dreams that these girls all had. when they were a kid and how that transformed into where they are today, it is very bittersweet. I will admit that this film did get me emotional a couple of times. There is a moment where the old cast members and the young cast members interact, and that somehow got very emotional. I think it's kind of one of those things where you get nostalgic for who you were before and what would that young person say to you to where you are now. I feel like that worked really well. I thought that was probably the strongest part of the movie. And like I say, it hits the ground strongly towards the end. But for the first half to two-thirds of the movie, it's not bad. It's just very bland, very by the numbers, and very generic. When we actually get into the more stakes and the more actual, I wouldn't say threat, but the more deep themes of this, it comes in way later into the film than it realistically should have. I think there was a opportunity to have it show up earlier in this. Now, obviously, I'm confined by the fact this is based on a stage musical, so I will not give it too many negative marks for that. But when I go into there expecting, I was expecting my overall expectations was going to be take that songs sung by other people that sound really good, and the plot would be okay. And unfortunately, the music for me fell flat, especially for the first half of the movie. The plot did take a little too long to get going. There's a particular subplot with Rachel and her little brother that is touched upon with the flashbacks, but we never really see the grown-up version of her little brother until towards the end of the movie. I felt that is a bit of a missed opportunity as it is, though it does make sense where each character ended up when you see where they were like when they were kids and what would have drove them to go for these specific career paths. I really enjoyed that aspect of it. The film got me emotional. It did hit me in the feels a couple of times in it, especially in that final third, and that alone bumps it up for me. But unfortunately, in terms of my minimum expectations, the film for the most part dropped below the minimum expectations. So this might actually be the lowest score I ever give for a film that did get me feeling emotional and make me tear up a bit and make me reflect on myself a bit, because unfortunately as a film, there's a lot that really holds this down. If you're a Take That fan and you just want to hear the songs performed in a musical, then you're going to love it. The audience that I was with, they were obviously old school Take That fans, and they were really having a good time and enjoying themselves. They didn't seem overly bothered by the overall plot of the movie and just seemed to be enjoying themselves listening to these Take That classics. I'm not going to knock anyone for that, but for me, as I go as a fan and also as a fan of films, it fell short of the mark for. Before I get into my grade, if you like what you've seen on the channel so far, click that like button and subscribe for more video content like this coming all the time. I am, as Take That say, back for good because I'm just way more motivated than I was a few months ago, and hopefully we can keep steamrolling to the end of the year. Hit that bell notification as well so you never miss a video like this. Like I say, greatest days. From a musical perspective, a lot of the songs felt very random in their placement, but there are a couple of nuggets in there that fit perfectly within the plot of the story and embracing what the characters are feeling at that specific moment of time, which I thought really helped bump the film up. It did get me emotional. And whilst I did enjoy the performances of the younger actors in the flashbacks for this, the older actors give a good job as well. The lead actress Aisling Bay, who plays the modern day Rachel, is tasked with carrying this film on her back, especially when it comes to the emotional bit, and she does a really good job in that. So overall for me, I'm going to have to say that Greatest Days for me is a tea that has too much milk. So Greatest Days, have you seen it? If you haven't, leave it down in the comments below. What is your favourite Take That song? For me, it's either Greatest Days or Rule the World. I think those are the two that always stand out to me when I listen to them on my free time. But let me know what your favourite song is as well. Coming up on the channel, going to be reviewing Asteroid City. And like I say, I'll probably do my late review of The Flash this week at some point as well. But until next time, everybody, my name is Josh. I have been your movie apprentice, and I'll see you all in the next one.